Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer Podcast. We are 100% going off script today, and we are not covering gaming. We are covering TV. Yeah, I know, a little bit odd, but hear me out. We are covering Arcane, the League of Legends story. That's on Netflix as of right now. For those of you that do not know, Arcane is an animated show that's on Netflix and has a 100%, 100% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and about 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 everywhere else. Translation, it's a fucking good show. So, it is very interesting to talk about because this is without a doubt one of the most polarizing shows of all time. And you could argue it is one of the best animated series that Netflix has ever produced, or at least has ever thrown on their platform. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, in the Last of Us episode that I did, I covered on it a bit, and actually, I don't believe it was Last of Us. I think it was the video game curse episode. I'm sorry about that. Now, I did talk about Arcane. I brought up the review scores, but I never exactly told you guys what it was about. It's basically a prequel to what League of Legends is. We see the heroes Vi, Echo, Jinx, and all their backstories about it. It's pretty cool. I liked it. I went into it not knowing what League of Legends was, and I ended up binge watching it 6 hours in a row. So, yeah, if you need a good watch, it's there, but we're not talking about Season 1. We're going into Season 2. Now, spoiler alert here, and when I say spoiler alert, I mean, yes, mega spoiler alert, as from everything from this moment on is strictly about Season 1 because we are predicting what's going to happen in Season 2. And I will be mentioning events of Season 1. So if you do not want to be spoiled and you haven't seen the show yet, I highly recommend turning off the episode. I'll give you a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, if you're still here, then you obviously want to hear what my predictions are going to be. I have 4. Some of them are longer than others, and the other ones are just short. I'm going to start with the first one. It's a short one. I believe there's going to be a civil war in the Undercity. And I know what you're thinking. What kind of civil war? Like, what do you mean? Well, Silco's dead. The Shimmer Factory is going to be up for grabs. His territory, I mean. And imagine what happens when you have chem barons that are going to want to figure that out and are going to end up wanting that territory. You're going to have a power vacuum. As far as the vegan knows, he's still alive. Silco is still alive as far as the vegan knows. So, in my opinion, there's going to be a war going on. And on top of that, Piltover is going to declare war on the Undercity. And you can thank that to Jinx, because she launched a missile straight into the council building, declaring war, saying peace is never going to be an option. And do I believe that they could have had peace? Maybe. But we all know what the council is. They are a bunch of scam artists that only care about power for themselves. You can look at the deal that they gave Silco. It was nothing. He basically joins the council, but he has to shut down all Shimmer factories and give up Jinx. That's a lot of stuff that pretty much only Silco has. And, oh yeah, let's not to forget that whenever he gets onto the board, he won't have Nation is on. He is going to be not overseeing it. The council is. So essentially, Silco is giving up his empire. He will never have taken that deal, as Silco said. So, why am I talking about that? Well, the Chem Barons are going to need a leader. Silco is gone. Savika is a follower. She's not a leader. So somebody is going to have to step up. And I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be chaos down there. And it's going to be hell to pay, especially with Zahn going to have to go head to head with Piltover and the enforcers that they had. Marcus is gone. He can't keep the peace. As much as he couldn't before, he can't anymore. So, it is going to get fun down in Piltover and Zahn, because those two are going to come to blows. We all know it, and I feel like the second that rocket hits, they're going to go to war. And it is going to be hell to pay for both parties. That's the first prediction, and I think it is a relatively good one. However, I don't think it's going to happen. One I do think is going to happen is Vi doing something that she never thought that she would have to do. And it's call her sister Jinx. And it's going to be probably the most heartbreaking moment in the entire series of Arcane. Because as far as we're concerned, Vi only knows Jinx as Powder. It's her innocent little sister that got manipulated by Silco. But Vi has made Jinx from the very beginning. The second she said, you're not allowed to come on this job, you name a job that she wasn't allowed to come on, seeds started to get planted. And then you include the fact that Vi had to talk sense into her about making the bombs to deal with enforcers. Shit. That probably was the last straw. And the second she said, because you're a Jinx, it was the full-on sprout of a nightmare for the Undercity. But one man's loss is another person's gain. Silco found Powder in that alley, and it was Jinx since then. And here we are, with Powder launching a rocket. No, I'm sorry, Jinx launching a rocket straight into the council building in front of Vi and a knocked out Caitlyn, declaring war. We are going to have to see the fallout from that. And if you can look at me with a straight face and say that Vi is going to have to say, oh no, that's still my sister, that's Powder, she's just confused. Bullshit. We know for a fact that we are going to see those sisters come face to face again. It's inevitable. It is one of those things that you're going to see. And these sisters are going to be entwined. Their fates are going to be entwined. Now, do I think Vi is going to call it on her own? No. I think she is going to be egged on to do it. And I think the person that's going to do it and convince her to do it is Jinx herself. If you guys haven't seen the Season 2 trailer yet, go on YouTube now. Because you hear Caitlyn say, as far as I'm concerned, one of us goes, one of us comes back into a box. That means somebody went after Jinx. I'm assuming Vi, and got hurt to the point that they just said we cannot split up. We have to work together. Vi was critically hurt in that situation. So I'm thinking when the inevitable happens and we finally have to have that moment where Jinx critically hurts Vi to the point where she has to retreat, she is finally going to say to Powder, "You're right. You are Jinx." And that's when you gotta cut that episode off. It would be the most intense episode, and if you cannot say that that would not break the internet, it would break Twitter, Facebook, you name it. It would break everything. And it would be the biggest gut punch to every fan that wants to see a happy ending. Because if you think this show is going to have a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. It's not. Jinx is a tragic character. In no way does she survive this season. And if she does, it's on some type of miracle that is going to be probably a bullshit way that they're going to write it. And knowing Riot and how they wrote Arcane, it's not that. Jinx is going to die this season. But I think it's going to be one of those ways where we see Jinx do one thing only. And that leads me into my next prediction. And in my opinion, this one is probably going to happen the most. Sister versus sister. It's going to be the sister fight that we all know has to happen. I think Vi and Jinx are 100% going to fight. It's going to go hell. And it's going to get to the point where Vi, accepting that Powder is Jinx, they're not going to hold back. They are going to tear each other apart. But in the end, Vi can't do it. She's going to have Powder beat. She's going to have Jinx beat. I'm sorry. And she will not land the killing blow. She will retreat. And I feel like that's the perfect time to call in the Jinx drop because, like I said, it's going to be critical. There's got to be some type of injury that's going to have to make Vi say you are a Jinx. And that's what your name always will be. And I think it's the inevitable sister versus sister fight. And it's going to be more than once. And I think, will Vi die the first time? No. But I think Vi is going to be the cause of Jinx's death. And she's going to have to live with that fact. Because, if you remember in season 1, Vi wants to... she took a Powder up into the... up in the Piltover. I cannot talk today. And she pointed out that, hey, look, there's a blimp there. And Powder immediately said, one day, I'm going to fly in those things. That's where it's going to take place. It's going to take place in the blimp, over Piltover, for everybody to see. And it is going to be close quarters combat. But Jinx is going to be the most outsmarted person of them all. She is the smartest person in the room in that situation. And she's going to completely destroy Vi. But in the end, does Vi die? No. Jinx does. But she's going to go out fighting. Because she is going to make Vi kill her. There's no way that Jinx ends up out of this alive. If you think she does, that's fine. That's your opinion. But my opinion is that Jinx has to die. There's no way around it. Soko died, and we all thought that he was just going to get, like, something stupid. We all thought something stupid was going to happen to him. But no. They let Powder shoot him. Then Jinx fired the rocket. So, do I think Vi is going to take out Jinx? In the most inadvertent way? Yes. I got a feeling she's going to disable an engine or something, and they are both going to go down with the ship. And it's going to become hell to pay. And I think if you put this through 2 episodes, you have Jinx win the fight, but Vi wins the war. That's how it's going to play out. Now, I know what you're thinking. That contradicts what I said about Jinx winning. It doesn't. Jinx is a Jinx. In the end, she jinxes everything that she is. In the end, her essence lives on. She jinxed Vi into the point that she had to take out Powder. She did it. And in the end, Jinx launched a rocket. She's gonna jinx Vi to the point that in the end, she is gonna have to put her sister down. And it is gonna be probably the most hard to watch episode that we will see out of all of them. But my God, is it going to be fun to watch. Because this has the possibility of becoming one of the most polarizing storylines out of everything. Because you have Vi finally acknowledging the fact that Powder is gone. Caitlyn is going to want to intervene. It's inevitable that she's going to be intervening in that fight somehow. That's probably how Vi survives the first fight. But Jinx is going to end up dying. I don't know how, but I feel like Vi is going to deal the killing blow. So, as far as I want to end on a good note, I feel like I can't. Because this is just one hell of an episode that you can't end on a good note. Arcane is a tragic show, filled with a bunch of tragic characters. And when season 2 comes out, I fully expect Netflix to crash just like it did with Stranger Things. But that's all for this episode. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye-bye.